First half of the opener is in the books as we get ready for the second. It's Arkansas with a 21-0 lead over Florida A&M. Bret Bielema didn't seem too pleased with his line play and a couple of offensive mistakes. Austin Allen, his fifth-year senior quarterback, with a pick, didn't score. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. This Arkansas offense for years under Bret Bielema has been predicated on the run game. That's looked a lot better tonight.
Yeah, you saw them make adjustments they needed involving the tight ends, the fullbacks, and the ISO game. Running behind Frank Ragnow and those junior guards that they have. What it worries me is the offensive line. Not in the run game, because I think they look solid, but picking up blitzes, seeing the alignment of fronts. Austin Allen's getting hit too many times for me. My comfort zone right now. The offensive line's got to be more consistent.
Well, that was a common theme last year for Allen. What wasn't a common theme? Great running game, and in the first half, a trio of backs have led the way.
Devwah Whaley getting off to a big start behind this offensive line. And Jackson and Johnson, the fullbacks, getting involved as well. Love their plan on the offensive run game so far.
No chance for a return for FAMU. Let's go back down to the field and check in with Cole Kublik.
Thomas spoke to Alex Wood, Florida A&M head football coach. He said special teams were a big issue. Obviously, Miss hit a couple of kicks. They need to clean that up. He said offensively, Vincent Jeffries will be the guy at quarterback. I'm going to try to loosen up the pocket, do a few things differently, and stay creative to give him more opportunities to move the football.
All right, Cole, thanks. They like his experience coming into the game, but he couldn't get that ground game going very well, but efficient. 5 of 7 through the air for 17 yards. Talking with Alex Wood this week. He really harped on Jeffries' experience. Now, Jeffries didn't play last week until it was a 22-0 game, and in the third quarter, he told us Stanley's our guy. We may have two guys who can play, but Stanley is our guy, so it's obviously an injury issue keeping Stanley out of the game tonight.
Yeah, you alluded to the fact that they had packages for Jeffries to come in. Really his strength, get him outside the pocket, get him out of the way of all those D linemen so he can open up his vision. Another timeout, I think.
Yeah, if you join us yet, FAMU is wearing illegal jerseys tonight. The numbers must be in contrasting color to the rest of the jersey, so they will lose a timeout at the beginning of every quarter. I don't want to pick on them. I mean, they're not happy they made this mistake. That wasn't an issue in their orange jerseys last week. But how do you get to this point where you even have those jerseys made when they're illegal? It's not a brand new rule. You don't get surprised by it, but it's enforced tonight by this SEC crew.
Hey, fashion wins every single time. Look good, play good. I don't think they care.
Cost them 3 timeouts. They might. And that one's incomplete. Stanley trying to get it to Chavis Murphy.
Jeffries has been accurate in the passing game with the short throws. That's what you want to do against a 3-4 defense. You want to try to out-leverage those outside linebackers, make them play the flat so eventually you can run up inside of them. Been accurate, just didn't have a grip on the ball there. See if they continue to try to move the pocket with this a little bit lighter O-line. Give Jeffries a clear vision to his receivers.
Jeffries on 2nd and 10, gets pressured and drops. Dwayne Eugene with a loss of 10.
That right there just looked like a blown protection. Running back should have picked up the end here. His eyes are inside. That guy you're running past is coming after your quarterback. Sliding to the opposite side. Just a miss by the running back there.
Eugene got a lot of snaps late in the season when Dre Greenlaw was hurt. Out of the pistol on 3rd and 20 now.
Notice here, Tom, you got 2 rush-ins and a 4 down front. They're liking to do that on 3rd down.
Able to dump it out to the running back. Ball's loose, scooped up by the Hogs, and they get a defensive score. Andre Tolliver, the senior, takes it in from 17 yards out.
Might put a smile on Bielema's face there.
Harris Supre is the running back who is injured. He's also the one who fumbled the football. And Tolliver able to take it to pay dirt. Officially an 18-yard return. FAMU athletic training staff led by Akima Dina. taking a look at his right shoulder.
You mean alignment-wise, or?
The touchdown stands. During the play, we have sideline interference, contact with sideline personnel. That is unsportsmanlike contact. Yards to the team. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Hans Supre, the sophomore out of Coral Gables, Florida, will be helped off the field.
Had a setup screen there. The second tackler coming in, put his helmet right on the ball. That's what you teach on defense.
That's
coming in late. Go after that ball.
Gabe Richardson is finding more playing time tonight, able to force the fumble. Andre Tolliver able to take it away. And they're going to take Hans into the visiting locker room here at Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. Cole Headland to attempt the point after. Arkansas's defense comes up with a scoop and score. A minute and 3 seconds into the second half. Forced fumble, and Tolliver in the right place at the right time. Hogs up 28-0. Arkansas kicking off here in the third quarter after a fumble return touchdown. It's a 28-0 lead for the Razorbacks over the Rattlers from Florida A&M. Connor Limpert, left-footed kicker, sophomore from Allen, Texas, will kick it away. Orlando McKinley back for FAMU. And McKinley picked up one that looked like it was going out of bounds. And he will get swallowed up on the kick return, made it out to the 15, and got erased in a hurry by Ryder Lucas. Now 680 miles from Little Rock is Tallahassee, Florida, and the Rattlers covered that distance via the bus. 10-hour trip from Tallahassee to Little Rock, past the time with plenty of leg room, I might add. 4 different buses made the trip. They're able to do it with a $750,000 payday to save some travel costs. The difference between flying and driving was about $60,000, and that difference will help pay for their books during summer school.
$60,000 and some sore legs and backs.
How about you? Must have had some bus rides in JUCO.
Oh, I had a 10-hour drive in JUCO down to the national championship game. We didn't feel great. We didn't have 4 buses either. We had 2.
They will be flying to their 3 conference road games. School started just this week at FAMU. Arkansas's defense coming up with a big stop on Ricky Henryless. It's a loss of 1. Talking with some folks around the FAMU program, I said, listen, 10 hours in the bus, it sounds kind of scary, but it was a great bonding moment. Saw guys, well, many of them were sleeping, obviously, but card games going on, folks watching movies, spending time on your computer, and can't help but bond. And Coach said, we're going to stop a few times on our way there, get out, stretch our legs, spend some more time together. I'm disappointed they didn't bring the band. Couldn't we have added one more bus to bring the band? Henryless again. Santos Ramirez chased him out of bounds. They have high expectations for their safety, Santos Ramirez, a junior from Shreveport.
As a junior captain, that's untraditional at Arkansas outside of the quarterback position. Santos, a guy that actually, coach wants him to be more of a tackler, not as much as a hitter. Always been physical, but teaching more of wrapping up so he can be more consistent. At one point in the spring, was second on the depth chart. Attached himself to the new coaches on this defensive staff. Was a film rat. Found himself back in the starting role and playing a big role on Paul Rhodes' defense this year.
FAMU 1 for 8 on third down tonight. 4-man rush. They're able to get to him. And they take down Vincent Jeffries. Jake Hall, the junior from Springdale. It's a loss of 4.
This is the pressure that Arkansas is trying to generate on the outside. Jake Hall doing his job. He's running through the tackle there. But these are the type of bodies they're starting to get for those DNs. 260, nearly 270. Jake Hall able to be a run stopper and rush the passer there. Crucial to the 3-4 scheme that they're switching over to.
3rd sack of the night for the Razorbacks. Low kick. It'll take a Rattler bounce and carry into Razorback territory. 43-yarder that time from Fadul. So Austin Allen making some changes that may seem subtle in this fall camp, thanks to some former Razorback quarterbacks that came back.
Yeah, nothing subtle when it comes to a quarterback. And switching the front foot in your shotgun progression, here's what it allows you to do. It allows you to be a little more in rhythm. But more importantly, as a right-handed quarterback, you throw with your right foot back. So it helps out a lot in the quick game. Allen's able to get the ball out of his hands quicker because his right foot is already there, doesn't have to move it. I talked to him before the game. He said the transition wasn't bad. Took a few days, but he loves that he's more in rhythm now. He can get the ball out quicker from the shotgun.
Looking for that slant. It was covered, so Austin Allen will take off and slide. You look back to some of the great quarterbacks in the NFL. Some do it, some don't. It's not a prerequisite, but Tom Brady picked it up after your big brother Aaron Rodgers started doing it. Eli Manning goes right foot back. It's kind of sweeping through the league.
Yeah, and it's a trend that as the shotgun becomes more and more prevalent, the ability of the quarterback to get the ball out of your hands quicker is paramount. And when you talk about quarterback in a second year like Austin Allen is, you can start to work on eliminating some of the wasted motion and inefficiencies, which Enos has done here with his quarterbacks just starting this fall, making that transition.
It came when Brandon Allen and Ryan Mallett came back to town to work out with the team. Here's Chase Hayden, the freshman, having a big night. And they kind of sold Austin and the staff on it. I don't know, when you were explaining it yesterday, it just seems so simple. Why would you, as a right-hander, take the snap with your right foot back?
Well, it's different than you do under center. As a righty, you always have your left foot back, but obviously operating under center and in the gunner are very, very different. Here's the thing. There's no perfect way to play quarterback. Everybody does it a little bit different. If you can justify it and you can find value, then you do it, and that's what Austin Allen's done here.
Fresh set of downs for Arkansas. The freshman Hayden at tailback. And they'll go play action here. Good coverage downfield. Allen tried to force it and nearly threw a pick. Let me go back to one thing you just said, though. So under center, your left foot's going to be back. Just walk us through why that is.
Well, as a right-handed quarterback, you got to take a big first step with your right foot. And even more importantly, especially with Arkansas in the run game, when you're pulling guards, double teams, those big offensive linemen step on your feet sometimes. So that left foot gives you about a half a yard distance that you already start when you get the ball in your hands. Then you move your right foot, gives you a little buffer so those big old clunky O-line feet like Cole has down there don't trip you up.
Cole's trying to trip people tonight. Here's a quick release. They get it to the outside, and Jonathan Nance inside the 30. Cole, what size shoes you wear?
13s, and I thought I proved my balance earlier in the broadcast when I took a short forearm shiver from the referee on the sideline and stayed on my feet there, J. Raj. I had my left foot back, that's why I stayed up.
There you go.
We're going line dancing later, boys. First down for Arkansas out of the eye with Tyler Phillips in at fullback and Chase Hayden at tailback. Hayden having a great night, averaging 8 yards a carry. Hayden cut back, shakes a dude to pick up a first down. It's a gain of 13.
Boy, for a true freshman, you can already see the intangibles. When you're looking at a running back, you want vision, but you want to be able to cut on a dime too. Look at the vision here as he gets outside and makes one cut whoop, right there to set up a block and get about 10 extra yards.
That was Ty Clary clearing the way for him. Clary got inserted with the ones in practice Tuesday afternoon. Brett Bielema told us, I want to see how he handles the expectations of being a starter. Fresh out of Fayetteville High School. Hayden again. He'll stutter step. And he's able to pick up 10 on first down. Deline Dowse with the tackle. Cole?
I'll tell you who I'm watching on this drive, you guys, is tight end Austin Cantrell, 44. I look for nasty in an offensive lineman. You don't see it too often in tight ends, especially in today's football. Austin Cantrell gives you nasty on almost every play. Asked Bielema in practice, I said, Coach, seeing this kid up close, if you're going to get in a bar fight, you had one guy on your team on your side, I'm just guessing 44 would be at the top of your list. He turned to me quick and said, no doubt.
You might need him as a personal protector on that sideline. A reach for the goal line and in. Touchdown for Chase Hayden. The freshman's got his first score of his career.
Running through 2 tacklers there at a late stretch. It's going to be close, man. Boy, it almost looks like it might just be a hair short, but what an effort. Running through 2 guys.
All he's got to do is break the plane, and the very front of that goal line. Ball came loose a little bit as he was trying to stretch for it. It looked like it was before his knees were down.
If they take a look at it.
Yep, they're taking a look, all right.
If we had a look just down the pylon, we might be able to see it. It might be tough there. Did call it a touchdown on the field, so there's got to be
indisputable,
something that shows that it really did.
Steve Landis is our replay official, collaborative replay health from back in Birmingham. And this play is under review.
It's a touchdown. That play is under review.
8:46 to go in the third. Gives us a chance to talk a little bit about Chase Hayden. You mentioned him being a basketball player growing up. Coming out of St. George's School in Memphis, he was Mr. Football as a junior. He was Mr. Basketball in the state of Tennessee as both a junior and a senior.
I said a guy that very realistically, as Dan Eno said, probably could have played basketball in college as well.
They credit a lot of his agility to being on the basketball court. And he's got some history within this offense. They ran out of the I formation early in his high school career. Take another look. And a look down that line of scrimmage, and if the ball broke the plane.
I don't think it did, Tom. That one looks a little more like it does, but you know, when the ball comes down, is it coming straight down and falling short? Bringing it back into him a little bit.
It must be indisputable to take the points off the board, ruled a touchdown on the field.
This is probably the best look here.
You know, I think his best case at a touchdown is a fumble and a recovery for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That ball kind of came loose at the end.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Unable to find indisputable video evidence, and took a little bit of some time, but I feel like we're going to see a lot more of those from Chase Hayden, his first career touchdown. Caps a 7-play, 56-yard drive. Point after is good. And Arkansas is out to a 35-0 lead. Here is War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. Hogs fans seeing a lot of good from their team tonight.
SEC opening night is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. Be the readiest.
We kick off the 85th season of Southeastern Conference football, and the Razorbacks in control here tonight in Little Rock. They've played some incredible games in the history of this stadium. Now they come here once a year, got one more year left on the contract, and that is supposed to be a conference game next season. Here tonight, it's FAMU out of the MEAC, and it's a 35-0 Razorback lead. Connor Lippert waiting to put it in the air. McKinley will watch it go over his head. Arkansas seems to be fairly healthy, but Cole Ryan Poley has been out of the game. What do you got?
Tom, he left and went to the locker room just before halftime. Will not re-enter this game with a pectoral injury. So the junior corner has seen his last action against Florida A&M.
This is when the injury occurred. The good news in that scenario is Brett Bielema in practice this week was raving about some of his young defensive backs. Cameron Curl, you see, the freshman from Skokie, Oklahoma, and Chavin Callaway, who may see some more playing time tonight as well.
Be a big loss, though. Pulley's probably their best guy in coverage by far. Cameron Curl right in behind him. He's a 6'1", big frame, long body on the outside.
Vincent Jeffries gets rid of it to the near side. And FAMU picks up 8. Brandon Norwood with the catch.
And right now, FAMU's got to realize that regardless of the score, create positive plays. These are great teaching moments, evaluating, distributing the ball. If you're Vincent Jeffries, making good decisions, a lot you can build off of by putting tape together and putting drives together here regardless of the score.
They had 415 yards of offense on 80 plays last week against Texas Southern. Taj Tolbert with the carry. Kevin Richardson the tackle for Arkansas. Best field position of the night for Alex Wood. And his Rattlers are at the 36-yard line. They have yet to throw it on first down until now, and it is incomplete. Marcus Williams, the intended receiver, sophomore out of Miami's Northwestern High School.
Second time there, Jeffries has really struggled catching the ball, no laces, and getting it out quick to the perimeter. Second time he's put it about at the kneecaps of the wide receiver.
Triple header of action coming your way this weekend. We'll be on the plains for Jarrett Stidham's debut as Auburn's quarterback, the Baylor transfer. Great chat with the Georgia Southern coaching staff today as they look to return to their roots and get that option offense rolling. On 2nd and 10, they fake the sweep, and he will dump it off incomplete.
It's actually a great play there. I know you're watching on TV like, wow, what's going on? It's something you can build off of. There wasn't a play there. Jeffries has played a lot of football, whether it's junior college or not. He's had reps. That's the thing you do as a quarterback there. You bounce it at the feet of the defender. You got a screen on, trying to work it to the right side. Defender's there, put it in the dirt. Live to play another down. Good decision there by an experienced quarterback.
That was my favorite quote from Waterboy.
There we go.
Deep completion into Razorbacks territory. It's Brandon Norwood. 31. Pardon me, a 23-yard gain.
That's what we've been missing. We haven't really seen FAMU push the ball downfield. Good blocking up front, a great pocket, and Jeffries is able to deliver really a good ball placement on the outside to Norwood. Caught a touchdown last week. Obviously been a little quiet tonight. Trying to get him involved any way they can.
More of the tempo that they want to run at as well. Tolliver spins his way out of trouble and then runs into a couple of home jerseys. Gain of 4. DeAndre Coley and Kevin Richardson in on the tackle. Second and 6 now for FAMU. Little pump and go. And too much air underneath it. One of the differences between the two quarterbacks, Ryan Stanley and Vincent Jeffries, we were told this week by head coach Alex Wood, is they really like Jeffries' accuracy on the deep ball.
Yeah, also able to put a little more touch on the ball. Something that experienced quarterbacks are able to do. Manipulate the trajectory of the football is difficult to do. When you got a big arm, you want to rip it in there. Jeffries has the ability to place it on the outside, over the outside shoulder. A little out of bounds on that one, but didn't really have anything there anyway.
3rd and 6 for the first-time starter, Jeffries. Incomplete. Norwood got his hands on it, but couldn't bring it in. And so 4th down, and they will keep the offense on the field, it seems. They were 3 of 5 on 4th downs last week. Special teams have been an issue. The kicking game has been an issue for Coach Wood this season. You're down 35-0. Why punt it away?
Cameron Curl in on that last play there. You're seeing on the Arkansas side a lot of young guys in without experience. A great opportunity to get depth in a game-like environment.
A lot of second stringers out there, including Hayden Henry and one defensive end position. Younger brother of the tight end Hunter. And the ball is complete. FAMU able to pick up the first down to Kareem Smith. It's a gain of 11. Josh Liddell with the coverage for Arkansas.
Tom, really impressed with the offensive line here. Great pocket. Bringing a little pressure on the outside. Running back is able to cut down. Linebacker, clean pocket for Jeffries. He can deliver. You give him time. This undersized offensive line is hanging in there.
10th play of the drive. Jeffries will take off. Eludes one man. Little stiff arm to find the edge. And we got a flag on the back end of the play. Dejon Harris was in on the tackle. And Obinna Nwankwo is an offensive lineman who's standing right next to the flag. And it looks like that penalty was incurred after the ball had already passed it.
Holding on the offense, number 7. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Nwankwo was thrown into the fire last year due to injuries. Sophomore from Miramar, Florida. Cole, I know it's never fun as an offensive lineman when you get flagged for holding, but how frustrating is it when you realize that the play was already past you?
Yeah, that's one that you'll go back in the film room, Tom, and really dislike yourself for, honestly. And you're just trying to make a play. It's very difficult with a mobile quarterback for offensive linemen to have a true awareness of where he is with the football. You're just trying to win your one-on-one. If you got a double team, you're just trying to win that individual block. Very frustrating.
Took him down after Jeffries had already passed him. And on the crossing route, incomplete.
Tom McCall, it's something you'll learn. He's a sophomore, thrown into the fire last year. That's why these reps are so valuable on both sides of the ball. FAMU's got a long season ahead of them. They need experience on the offensive front. Arkansas on the other side needs to gain depth and build up experience on their 2 and 3 beat for this 3-4 scheme.
Jeffries on the run. Chavis Murphy incomplete.
Jordan, if you're a quarterback struggling with accuracy in a game, plays like that, sprint outs, rollouts, smoke protection, things like that, does that help you build your accuracy inside of a game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a quarterback, the more you can get the noise and the distraction of defensive line and linebackers out of your face, the more you can see the receiver and just the DB that you're throwing to, I think the more accurate you're going to be. But throwing on the run creates its own problems if you're not used to doing it. The mechanics of it very different than in the pocket.
He stays in the pocket there and fires it to the outside, needing 20 for the first down. Smith picks up 8. Yeah, so there's the balance, right? There's the rub. We can get you out of the pocket, get you away from pressure, but the mechanics are going to be changed. It's going to be a lot harder to hit a moving target while you're moving.
And Jeffries has been great in the pocket. You've seen just on this drive delivering a few very accurate balls. When you're on the run, the thing you got to think about, you got to bring your shoulders with you. You got to bring your left shoulder if you're a right-handed quarterback to the target to increase your accuracy, throw more with your body, less relying on all arm. Some of those things that reps get you better at. He hasn't had a ton of them. He wasn't the starter coming into this game.
They converted a 4th and 6 earlier on this drive. Now 4th down and 13. And ruled incomplete. Brandon Norwood thought he got his hands underneath it. Short hopped it, and he's not happy. So Arkansas will take over on downs. It's a 13-play drive that the Razorbacks defense bends but doesn't break. 4:54 to go in the third quarter on SEC opening night. All Hogs. State 14-13. I can take ESPN anywhere. I got it right up here in the booth with us tonight. You can download the ESPN app to stream ESPN right now. This game, the Ohio State game, all the games this weekend, whether it's SEC Network, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, ESPNU, everything live and on demand, all on the ESPN app. Go download it now. Go to ESPN.com/app. Ohio State just went into Indiana territory. That might be biggest upset of the weekend if the Hoosiers can hang on in Bloomington. Austin Allen trips over his feet and takes it down. I was just getting ready to ask you, we got under 5 to go in the third quarter. How important is it? You talk reps for Austin Allen to stay in this game with the score being what it is. They've got two capable young backups. I know they want to get some experience too.
And they will. I imagine when the fourth quarter comes, those young guys could get some run here. As you see, this is what I was talking about. Remember the left foot back? Ragnow steps back just a little bit, getting blown up right onto Allen's left foot. That'll happen. But with a good drive here, I think this may be the last we see of Austin Allen. Starters all still in for Arkansas.
He took some hits last year, that's for sure. LSU knocked him down 18 times. Thanks to Cole going back and doing the film work. We know that Alabama hit him 28 times.
Arkansas. That's their first charge timeout of the half.
2nd and 14. We've got a timeout here in Little Rock. Ten-hour bus ride, and you're down 35. 4:07 to go, third quarter. Primarily starters still in the game for Arkansas, including quarterback Austin Allen. He's thrown a touchdown and he's thrown a pick. Johnson at fullback. He is leading the way. Gets another key block, and there's a big-time run by T.J. Hammonds, a sophomore from right here in Little Rock. It's a pickup of 12, the product of Joe T. Robinson High School.
A former receiver. Want to get the ball in his hands, a guy that Eno said we see get some touches today, but coming back to the run, this is lead ISO. Hayden Johnson leading the way. This is something the teams are going to have to start scheming against, because they've been very, very successful tonight. I know it's not the SEC, but.
So 3rd and 2. There's that right foot back out of the shotgun. Allen complete to Jonathan Nance, a pickup of 7.
With the youth at receiver, see a guy like Jonathan Nance, a junior college transfer, actually the teammate of Brandon Martin, another junior college transfer who was the #1 rated receiver in the nation for junior college. Nance, the #9 rated receiver. Got to get guys with experience with touches. That's why this late drive is important. Get these receivers some action with Allen in live reps.
Here's Nance again. Started his career as a defensive back at Southern Miss, and he's able to pick up a first down. I knew that Jonathan Nance was going to get some touches when I heard Austin Allen say, you know what, I'd compare him to Drew Morgan. He gets good leverage. He can get open against any type of coverage. If your quarterback thinks you're comparable to Drew Morgan, you're going to get the ball.
Guy that led the team for a couple years. Pretty high praise for a junior college guy just coming in without any catches previously, but create a lot of chemistry. Like I said, these receivers, without Jared Cornelius being full-time this spring and summer, a lot of guys got a chance to get looks.
Out of Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Trying to find the edge. David Williams gets bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe got back to it. Demontre Moore was able to track him down. So you think this is the last possession for Austin Allen?
Possibly. But really, we talked earlier about Arkansas wanting to figure out the right side of this offensive line. I think they have found the combination that they want. With Johnny Gibson, a former walk-on, now at right tackle, Ty Clary, a guy that Bielema said he was going to put the cleats to or the screws to and wanted to see him perform at right guard. The confusion there is two guys were in the same spot.
Turns into a 4-yard gain for Jared Barnes. Cole Kelly, the second-year freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana. No helmet yet, still on the headset. He's your backup quarterback along with Ty Story. Here comes pressure. Allen lets it go, complete inside the 20. It's Barnes again. Consecutive catches for Jared Barnes. That one goes for 26.
I mean, on one hand, you want to be excited about a big play to another inexperienced receiver. On the other hand, you look at the protection and whether guys aren't getting open soon enough or Allen's holding on the ball too long. This comes down to protection from the backs. David Williams trying to do his best there. They've been better. Running backs have been a lot better today, but there is some issues up front that have to be solved with the offensive line IDing the front, knowing where pressure's coming from, and the backs being consistent in picking up that pressure late.
Longest play of the night for either side. Play clock at 1. Looking for the screen. Here's Williams. Popped inside the 5. And Arkansas will be looking at a 1st and goal.
Thing of beauty watching Arkansas run these screens. When you have a run game as good as they do and a scheme that is consistent as they have, you can marry it up with play action, with screens. Really starts with the hat level of the offensive line and then ends with the quarterback extending the ball, really selling the run. You can tell how much they rep that week in and week out.
Fullback is Hayden Johnson. David Williams behind him. Williams sneaks through, and he is down just outside the goal line. And the third quarter will end with Arkansas knocking on the door after another nice carry by David Williams, who already has 1 touchdown tonight. Williams couldn't get the ball over, and so when we return to start the 4th quarter of play on SEC opening night, it'll be Arkansas just outside the goal line, already up 35. Hogs playing like men tonight. It's a 35-0 lead, and they've got a 2nd and goal from inside the 1. David Williams in the eye behind Hayden Johnson. Here's Williams straight ahead, and he's in for his 2nd score of the night. Playing time was tough to come by for David Williams at South Carolina under Will Muschamp. Early in the season, he had 15 carries against UMass and not much else. Five touchdowns for his career as a Gamecock. He already has 2 in his first game as a Razorback. Cole Headland punches through the point after. 42-0 lead for Arkansas. Well, we lost a key Razorback, not just for the University of Arkansas, this great state, but also the SEC. Frank Broyles was a Southeastern Conference Player of the Year when he was at Georgia Tech back in 1944. That was just his first step in leaving a big mark on this conference. As the Arkansas head coach, they won the 1964 National Championship, taking down Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl. And then the Director of Athletics at Arkansas, 43 national championships from 1973 to 2007. Frank Broyles passed away this summer and honored here tonight by the Arkansas Marching Band as they spelled out his name He coached here from 1958 to 1976, the AD from 76 to 2007. 33 and a half years as the athletic director and spearheaded their move into the SEC. Broyles will be missed by all. One of his assistant coaches was Hayden Fry, who was Brett Bielema's head coach at the University of Iowa. And when Brett heard that Frank Broyles needed some visits late, he was on his way to the Broyles house and called up his former coach. And he said Hayden Fry just lit up and told story after story. And Brett Bielema realized that at that point that a lot of the life lessons he learned from Hayden Fry had been handed down from Frank Broyles. And was proud that he's part of that Frank Broyles coaching tree, even if it's not a direct straight line.
It's pretty cool to see Bielema say, you know, I didn't really know the guy before I got to Arkansas, but you start to realize how interconnected everybody is, especially when it comes to coaches. Everybody comes from a tree or a philosophy, and he said when he got here, he started to realize how much he was cut from the same cloth as Broyles. So pretty cool for him to come here and understand that he's from that alignment, that tree, that philosophy, protecting the ball, running the football.
And that is an amazing coaching tree for Frank Broyles, not just assistants, but also his players. Ken Hatfield, a longtime head coach at Rice, was on that national championship team. So was Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys. There was a lot of great football minds in that room. 1964 national champions. There's Jerry Jones on the left, Jimmy Johnson up in the top right. Johnny Majors won a national title with Pitt and coached in this league with Tennessee. And Ken Hatfield, special teams superstar, would go on to good college coaching career as well, and so many other business. That's one of the things Bielema talked about. He's like, listen, we know about the football players and the coaches that came out of there, but great business leaders and great men and fathers and husbands that Frank Broyles coached. And his time tutoring players and coaches is why we have the Frank Broyles Award that goes to the top assistant coach in all of college football every year.
Really started the movement or the awareness of facilities, the importance of recruiting and bringing kids on campus to walk them around the facilities and see what they're going to experience. Did so much for this game.
A game of college football, including a long time as the #1 analyst for ABC, working alongside Keith Jackson. 3rd and 2. He did that while he was the athletic director here at Arkansas. He traveled from Northwest Arkansas to the national game of the week on ABC. And had a chance to talk with Keith Jackson on the phone last week. And he recalled so many great stories and laughs and the time that they had, two Georgia kids calling college football for ABC. And he said it never failed. We'd be doing a Big Ten game somewhere, and the letters would pour into the ABC offices. How do you dare have these two Georgia boys calling a Big Ten game with their southern drawl? Keith said sometimes I had to tap Frank on the elbow and say, can you explain exactly what you just said? Does your mother know what you're saying by using that drawl in all your country lines? FAMU will punt it away. They take a short hop. Great improvisation. And FAMU's going to pick up a first down on a tuck and run by Chris Fadol. It figures he would have some speed. His dad was on the 1972 Lebanese Olympic track and field team. And Fadol was able to pull the ball back and take off in a dead sprint.
Just give me a whoop-de-doo. Showed it like he was about to kick it and took off. I mean, someone upstairs was doing their homework because they told everybody to freeze. Going to let the end guy free rush. He's 70, doesn't even step out. Whoop, gone.
Here's what we're going to do. Let's shorten the snap. Don't block the guy from the edge, and we'll have a first down. Gain of 5. Tevin Spells, the senior from Delray Beach, Florida, with his first carry. Fadol's run was the longest play of the night for FAMU, 26-yard run.
They'll be getting a lot more love when they watch that on film this week, too.
Crawling is Spells, and he's able to pick up first down with a gain of 4. All right, now this Arkansas defense in a spot here with a fresh set of downs for the Rattlers, where if they want to keep the shutout intact, and they need to come up with some stops here. On first down, incomplete. Trying to find Norwood.
Also a young rotation in there, especially up front, Tom. Dylan Hayes is now in at nose guard, a guy that coaches said is like a Tasmanian devil back there. He's got a motor. He's a big kid at 6'3", just under 300. From here in Little Rock, I'm sure he's got family here watching. Important to continue to create depth. So you're seeing these guys out here getting live reps in the heat of battle. That's what creates depth. Important going into the SEC to have guys with experience in your 2-3 deep.
At a Little Rock Christian Academy, great pressure up front. And Briston Guidry in there to take down the ball carrier. It's a loss of 2 as Tevin Spells gets taken down.
Gotta block somebody. Can't let a free rusher run at your running back. Someone missed there up front for FAMU.
FAMU just 2 for 13 on third downs tonight. Looking for a screen, nothing there. Jeffries. Whoa, he got leveled. Walker just lowered the boom on him. Redshirt freshman out of Moultrie, Georgia. That was very close to being targeted.
Yeah, he'll be getting a talking to from his coaches, just being careful for his protection as well as for the runner's protection. Don't lower the crown of your helmet there right at impact. Got to keep your eyes up to see what you're hitting is what they'll tell him.
They'll go for it on fourth down again. They've converted 2 of 3. Great hands on the diving grab made by Norwood, and he's going to be just short of the marker. We'll see. They'll bring out the sticks, it seems. See if that's good enough. Norwood pleads his case.
A really good ball on the outside. Looked like you ran the route through the sticks as well. Just a simple comeback on the outside. No matter the depth on that, you're running 3 yards past the sticks. So when you come down your stem, you end up with a first down. We'll see how close it ends up being here. Another good ball from Jeffries, though. I'll tell you, he's been accurate when he's in the pocket.
And they get it. Hustle awarded the chain gang for coming all the way across. And if Arkansas wants to keep this shutout intact, they're going to have to come up with another stop.
I'll tell you, Tom, I know Alex Wood stated very specifically that Ryan Stanley was the #1 and Vincent Jeffries was the #2. They'd have some packages, but sure it looks like Vincent Jeffries has played his way into really being in the conversation for a starter moving forward, whether Stanley's healthy with that ankle injury or not.
Well, they'll have some time to get Stanley healthy, off next week, and then they go to Tennessee State. Here's Spells again. Let's check in with Cole.
Tom, I tell you, I'm down here about 5 or 6 yards away from Paul Rhodes, and you would think that they're playing for an SEC championship right now. This guy, as intense as he was, first quarter, second quarter, yelling at his guys, shot right now, trying to warn the defense he thinks they're going to take a shot towards the end zone. He was yelling at the referees that he wanted a measurement on that fourth down play. It's really cool to see Coach Rhodes still out here coaching these guys up as intense as he is.
First year as the defensive coordinator, was the defensive backs coach last year. They installed the 3-4 when he was the head coach at Iowa State, so he's been through this process before. Jeffries changed the direction, and he lost his footing. Turf Monster got him. May have gotten in if not for that.
Bielema said of Rhodes, he has the innate ability to raise his voice but not yell at you. Really communicates well with his defensive players. And like I said about Jeffries, I like what he brings to the table for FAMU. He's been accurate passing the football, especially in the pocket. They can work on getting him outside the pocket, a little more accuracy, better fundamentals on the run, but he's played well.
13th play of the drive. First and goal for the Rattlers. Caught and smothered. Kareem Smith brought down for a gain of 2. Rattlers had a 13-play drive that ended with nothing earlier this half. This will be the 14th play of this drive.
Keep your eyes down here on the bottom of the screen. Chavis Murphy.
Play action, Murphy dragging, and Jeffries has to change direction again. The stiff arm floats it, incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and goal. Jonathan Marshall was the one that forced him down, had Jeffries around the knees.
He was looking for Chavis Murphy, a 6'6", 210-pound freshman. Looks like a basketball player, but they say he isn't. He's a football player, and it looks like Jeffries was looking towards the back of the end zone there to see if Murphy was crossing. Wouldn't be surprised at some point, though, now in the red zone, you throw a jump ball to a guy like that.
42-0 Arkansas. Timeout taken by Florida A&M. They'll talk about their best scoring opportunity of the night. Let's see some great quarterbacks take the field for our triple header action on Saturday, starting with Drew Lock and Mizzou taking on Missouri State. Then Nick Fitzgerald and Mississippi State at 4 o'clock, hosting Charleston Southern in Stark Vegas. And Jared Stidham makes his Auburn debut for the 12th ranked Tigers against Georgia Southern. We'll be there for SEC Saturday night. Fitzgerald led the SEC in total yards last year. I know you and Cole think he's in for a big season this year.
Yeah, I think Mississippi State has a chance to surprise some people. It's because of his dual threat ability and his ability to push the ball downfield.
Locke was second in the league in passing yards. The Missouri offense had a great season last year. Got a Little Rock guy at running back, too. He's pretty good. Crockett. All games streaming live on the ESPN app. 3rd and goal for Florida A&M. 5-man route. Looking end zone. It is caught. Touchdown Florida A&M. Brandon Norwood, and the Razorbacks lose the shutout on that strike from Jeffries.
Great throw. Just a high-low curl combination or a dig combination with the stick route underneath. Easy read for the quarterback, high-low, and a very accurate throw on the outside to Norwood. Guy that keeps showing up from the receiving spot for Jeffries there. Back-to-back games with scores.
That was a 15-play drive that covered 76 yards. One of the best plays of the night for Florida A&M was Chris Fadol taking the short hop, pulling the okey-doke and taking off for 26 and a first down. It leads the Rattlers to a score here in SEC country as Vincent Jeffries finds Brandon Norwood. Look what you made me do. We got more drama coming. A big one, Florida State and Alabama Saturday night, 8 o'clock on ABC. Program comparison since 2001. Nick's won 3 national titles. His former coordinator has one of his own.
Talking about a coaching tree. That Saban coaching tree is making waves. Kirby now at Georgia, primed for a big year. Jimbo been very successful.
If you had that list of names and all of them in red underlined, that's a lot of good assistant coaches that come out of Nick Saban's tree.
See what you did there.
Devin Warren past the 20 and gets spun around. Out to the 25-yard line. Cole Kelly will take over quarterback now for Arkansas. This dude is a hoss and a half. 6'7", 268 pounds from Lafayette, Louisiana. He's a redshirt freshman. Talking with Brett Bielema about him on the practice field the other day, he said this dude will throw it through the window.
all the tools, all the intangibles that you want to see. Obviously, Young got a lot of developing to do. Tonight, he is the number 2. But Bielema said very, very clearly, Ty Storey, Cole Kelly, still in a competition. It could go either way, practice to practice. So valuable time here for Kelly to run this offense late in the game.
One of the ways Dan Enos helped his young quarterbacks back in spring ball, Kelly and Ty Storey, is he had him using those earpieces in the radio transmitters that they use in NFL games. So as a quarterback comes to the line, he can walk through his progression with him pre-snap. How helpful would that be?
I'd never heard of this, but if I ever am a coach, I'm doing it. Because what's so important as a quarterback is that you have a process. When you break the huddle, where do your eyes go? What are you thinking about? What leverage or safeties or progression are you going through before the play even starts? So if there's a coach in your ear that can walk you through that, get your reps with the right progression.
Where did your eyes go first when you were walking up to the line?
I always like to do it. A lot of times they say work high to low, so look at the safeties. I always thought the safeties can fool you. So my eyes always went to the D-line and the linebackers first to look at alignment to see if maybe possibly the safeties could be rolling or coming down. Then I'd ID the secondary, see the alignment of safeties. Are they 2 deep? Are they 1 deep? How deep are they? How far off the hash are they? And then obviously I'd come back down to protection, set the mic, make sure everything in front of me was protected. And then obviously the most important part is it may look one way pre-snap, it may look completely different post-snap, and that's what these young quarterbacks really got to catch up on.
So Cole Kelly looking at that FAMU defense, has time to stand tall, and he gets rocked, trying to wrestle the ball away from him, and the big fella is able to take Jules Dorneville for a ride. It's a loss of 7. Now, those wireless transmitters aren't legal in college ball right now, but Brett Bielema has been on the rules committee. He said, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if in years to come, very soon, that rule comes down to the college game. You could do one in the offense with the quarterback. You could do one defensively, your middle linebacker or safety, who's ever making those calls.
Yeah, and so much time, this is what Eno said, so much time is wasted making these signals and talking about the semantics of how to get the play in. Valuable time that could be getting lined up, getting in formation, getting the play run. I'm all in favor for it.
On 2nd and 18, Kelly fires, incomplete. I think going back to your point, one of the things that Enos talked about was the time that they spend in the meeting room, not going over the playbook, not going over the nuances and finer points, but just memorizing the signals and signs, and you have to change again the next week. Maybe not all of them. That's a lot of wasted time.
Yeah, I found it kind of fun to sit there and make up signals, but it is wasted time. You're not getting better as a quarterback during that time, and it's valuable time because you have to do it, but it's time that could be spent elsewhere, and I don't think there's really a downside to having the quarterbacks in college mic'd up. Obviously, it's still cut off at a certain time on the play clock. You're not walking them through the play. It's an easier way to relay the play to the quarterback quicker, more succinctly.
Pressure coming, and he's able to dump it off. David Williams, first down, Arkansas. And Williams takes it all the way out for a 37-yard gain.
What a night he's having, huh? Defense there, brought double A gap. I mean, that's moxie right there. A young quarterback standing in there delivering the ball under pressure. Brought cross dogs, double A gap. It's the perfect call to have on when you got blitzers. Let's throw a screen. It's all on the quarterback to get the ball out of your hands. He does there for a big play.
9 touches and 71 yards with a couple of touchdowns for Williams. And Williams, or pardon me, they give it up to the freshman Hammonds, a sophomore Hammonds. We're talking about using those wireless radio transmitters for quarterbacks to help these young quarterbacks identify defenses. Well, they did it a little bit differently in fall camp. Kurt Anderson, the offensive line coach, put one of those in his right tackle's helmet. That's Brian Wallace, and he said Anderson worked with him to identify those same things that an offensive lineman needs to be able to see. Brett Bielema's like, dude, I'd never heard of it before, but it makes perfect sense because as he's coming to the line, his offensive line coach can make sure he's keying on the right things. And, of course, it's up to him to execute. But what a great teaching opportunity throughout fall camp. Hayden inside the 10. Cole, how helpful would that be as an offensive lineman?
So helpful. I think when it's very difficult for an offensive lineman, especially a center who's calling the plays, calling the looks, calling the defenses, making checks, to always be on the same page with your quarterback. That takes seasons, not a couple of practices, not one fall practice, not a couple of game weeks. It takes years for that continuity to truly develop. And when you can share that communication openly in practice, I just think that takes it one step further for you to be on the same page a little bit faster.
They split Hammonds out. They put him in the slot. And here he comes in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. Somehow he shakes his way past about 4 different rattlers, and that'll set up 2nd and goal.
And you know what it does more than anything, Cole and Tom, is it really shortens the learning curve. Reps are wasted if the offensive lineman walks up and doesn't know what he's supposed to do. He does the wrong thing, that's a wasted rep. You're shortening or eliminating the amount of times that can happen. Yeah, you're walking him through it, but you're teaching his process mentally, making sure he knows what he's doing, so physically he can actually get reps that are beneficial. And obviously, the more and more you do that, the more and more the coach is walking it through, obviously, hopefully the less you do that. And the more he's out there playing quicker, thinking less.
They go back to the I formation. Play action, looking for the fullback on the run. Wow. Cole Kelly just lowered his shoulder and put a dude on his backside. That is 268 pounds of Louisiana steam coming at you.
Tell you what, I'm getting out of his way if he's running the football.
Mac Green is outweighed by 68 pounds by the quarterback. And he just got Mac trucked.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, of course you get flagged for that because Cole Kelly's as big as 2 men. Watch this hit that he lays on Mac Green.
His first game time, you think he's sliding or getting out of bounds? Not a chance. Whew. I mean, he delivered it. He didn't just brace for it. You saw that arm finish through at the end. Hello.
2nd and goal, backed up now after the penalty. Chase Hayden. Able to pick up 6. Hayden's having a monster night. 121 yards tonight, 120 officially on 14 carries, averaging better than 8.5 yards a carry for the freshman from Memphis.
Boy, he's explosive. Each one of these backs brings something a little bit different. Whaley's great north and south, gets skinny in the hole. Williams is obviously just solid in protection. He's thick, he's physical. Hayden's explosive. They got 3 really good backs moving into the season here.
Play action. And they dump it off to the tight end, Cheyenne O'Grady, and he's in. Another Arkansas touchdown. First touchdown pass for Cole Kelly. And his 2nd of the career of O'Grady.
Another screen dialed up for Enos. Loves these ones to the tight end. You don't see this much. The tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage. See a play action fake.
It was interesting talking to Dan Enos about all the screen game. He said, I don't like running screens in practice against our #1 defense. Sometimes late in the practice, late in camp, they're not as aggressive as you want the defense to be against screens. FAMU was aggressive there. They get in the backfield, and Cole Kelly makes some pay with his first career touchdown pass, and the big fella happy about that one. SEC Nation is back, and they'll be live Saturday 9 Eastern from Arlington, Texas. Laura, Marcus, Paul, and Lauren. They got a couple of special guests dropping by. They'll feed Les Miles some grass, and the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, will probably be wearing a visor. They'll be at Lot 3 outside AT&T Stadium on Saturday morning. You can join that fantastic group at Lot 3 at AT&T Stadium. It's ACC Nation presented by AT&T right here on the SEC Network. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Pretty big one that night from Jerry World, huh? Whew.
Dallas, my hometown. We're going to be somewhere else, though.
Yeah, no, we'll be on the plains. Could Florida win that game without 10 dudes?
I mean, they're making it really, really tough on themselves. Michigan still got a quarterback competition. I think we're going to see both guys play.
Oh, did Michigan release its roster?
Finally, I believe they did.
The whole time it was tucked into Harbaugh's khaki pants. That kickoff will go out of bounds. Special teams mistake for Arkansas. 2:20 to go here on SEC opening night on this Thursday night in Little Rock. FAMU trailing. They've lost 14 consecutive September games. They're going to have to wait a couple more weeks to try to end that skid when they go to Tennessee State.
Free kick out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
2:20 to go. We whistle our way to the fourth quarter. Nobody's watching. Tonight, the SEC Now team follows our game with an in-depth recap. No one covers the SEC like we do. It's our job. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Glad to know some folks on Twitter still with us here late tonight. 42-point game. 2:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Incomplete. Taj Tolbert is in the game at quarterback for FAMU. Freshman from Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Big body guy. Passes the eye test. 6'5", 220. Like I said, these games at the end of the game for both Arkansas and FAMU is about getting experience from your young guys. Game reps. Can't replace those.
On 2nd and 10. Another carry for Zende Ray. He's had a busy night tonight. Maybe the first time he's heard his name called. It's a 49-7 Arkansas lead. Ohio State trying to pull away from Indiana 35-21 late in the third quarter in Bloomington. You know, we don't have, I don't think we have the depth of games like we had last year for opening weekend. But we've never had the #1 team in the AP poll open against a top 3 opponent. And that's what we get with Florida State and Alabama in the new dome downtown Atlanta on Saturday night.
It's going to be a big one.
Oh, it's going to be a huge one.
I think it's going to be.
I got that a one-possession game.
I absolutely do too. I think it's going to be very competitive. I even said, hey, Alabama might be in a little trouble. Not trouble, but I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. Alabama's reloading on defense. New offensive coordinator Brian Dable. Florida State powerful as always and dangerous.
Great piece on ESPN.com written by Ryan McGee about the West Virginia background for both Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. Cole, how do you see that one going?
I think that's a line of scrimmage game, boys. You look at Alabama's retooled offensive line. Jonah Williams going from right tackle to left tackle. New side of the right offensive line, Jedrick Willis, freshman, going to start at right tackle.
On the kicking team, number 43, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Going again up against what I think is the top 5 defensive line in college football. Derek Nottie is an elite nose guard. Christmas at defensive tackle. Burns and Sweat at defensive end / outside linebacker. They'll have their hands full there. And if they can't get the run game going, I think it goes back into the quarterback. And on the flip side of that, Florida State's offensive line was atrocious a year ago. But this is a completely retooled Alabama defensive line that doesn't have a lot of guys that have proven themselves.
What do you really think? 232 days since Bama was on the field. Another good kick from Ferdul, and that one will be down inside the 15-yard line. 54-yard punt.
He had a busy night.
Yeah, he did.
We saw a replay of that punt, and actually talking about it up here, I don't think it was called.
Oh no!
He laid the guy and then was thinking, I need to kick it again, and then he saw, hey, I gotta see green grass. Let's go.
A clean snap, and he gets the kickoff just fine.
Absolutely.
Well, this will back up Arkansas a little bit with 1:21 to go, and we get Ty Storey in the game for the first time. But Bielema said Ty Storey was ahead of Cole Kelly early in camp. He is reliable, the sophomore from Charleston, Arkansas. He's going to make all the right calls. He's going to run the play the right way. And that includes victory formation.
Yeah, not as physically gifted as Cole Kelly is, but a guy that does all the right things. That's hard to replace. People talk down on game managers. If you can manage the game, you're doing something right. So both those guys still in a competition will continue on. Hopefully neither of them see the field with Austin Allen staying upright.
Triple header action on Saturday, starting with Missouri State and Mizzou. We'll be on the plains for Auburn and Georgia Southern. Our boys from SEC Now waiting to recap this big night of SEC football for Bret Bielema's Razorbacks. His 5th year at Wisconsin, he took the Badgers back to the Rose Bowl, starting his 5th season at Arkansas, and he opens with a big win. Alex Wood, like Bielema, a former Hawkeye at Iowa. And now Bret Bielema runs his record to 41-4 against non-conference opponents during the regular season. 11 years as the head coach. The new dad opens fatherhood as a head coach with a victory. It's a 49-7 victory. What was the biggest bright spot in your mind for Arkansas tonight?
I think the biggest bright spot was the depth at running back. Devwah Whaley with a big night. Chase Hayden with a big night. David Williams with a big night. They have a stable of running backs. The questions are going to be up front with the offensive line. In the run game, look good. Pass protection tough.
Cole standing by with Bret Bielema.
Coach Bielema, solid win to open the season. Your thoughts on the opener?
Well, a lot of good things happened for us to learn. First half, a little bumpy. It had a lot of new players, especially on offense, that were in critical roles. So to get them some valuable experience, hit a couple bumps in the road was good. I thought our quarterback, did some really good things to get that first half going. Really proud of our defense. They scored against our twos there, but for our ones, they played pretty efficiently the whole game.
I know you have to be happy with the running back production that you saw today.
Yeah, I've been excited about those guys. I think obviously Devwah is a guy that's proven it already. David Williams, you can see he's got athleticism, and Chase Hayden's got some skills. And then T.J. Hammond really had missed about 2 weeks. He just started practicing a couple days ago to get him in the mix is good.
You've had some fun descriptions in the past describing offensive line in the running game. I'd like to know how you would describe your quarterback, Cole Kelly, lowering the boom over on the near sideline.
He's a big boy. He's 6'7" and 270 pounds of love. You can see the people react. He's kind of got that magnetic personality, and I think he completed 2 passes, both screen passes, but he's going to brag on that one for all the time. But it was good to get him reps and that 2-0 line in there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. We'll pick.
All right, so he's 1-0 as a dad now. Daughter Briella, brand new to this world. Wife Jen missed the game for the first time in 6 years. She's back home with their gorgeous daughter, and a pretty win tonight for Arkansas. They get it done on the ground with 236 rushing yards. A touchdown late against the Subs, but otherwise this one all hogs. 49-7 is the final. We got some guys who know football ready to talk about it. Chris Doering, Matt Stinchcomb, and Peter Burns to break this one down. A 49-7 Arkansas finale. So long for now from Little Rock.